I watch Alex wage an epic, one-sided battle with his alarm, and spoiler, the alarm wins by majority vote. He slaps the snooze like it's a mosquito and promises himself he'll definitely get up in 5 minutes, which in Alex time translates to a nap of Olympic proportions. I can't help but narrate his inner monologue. This counts as willpower practice, right? Nope. He vows to eat healthy, run, and become a productivity ninja before he even peels his eyes open. Because starting with declarations is both comforting and dramatic. 2 hours later, he's consoling himself with toast like it's a long-lost friend, which, to be fair, it emotionally is. I'm here for the performance, but I also keep a mental tally. Willpower points, 0. Toast points, infinite. After a sugar spike, Alex experiences the classic motivational roller coaster, euphoric plan, dramatic crash, repeat. It's like watching someone try to use fireworks as a steady light bulb. I tell him quietly and dramatically because drama is my cardio. That willpower behaves like a fickle roommate who sometimes helps and mostly eats your snacks. You've heard it. Willpower is like a muscle. Alex hears it and immediately imagines a beefy bicep he can flex. He even tries flexing his willpower in public like it's a fashion accessory. I let him try because comedy, but then I point out the research-tinged reality. Muscles get tired, and so does willpower, unless we stop trying to bench press our whole life in one go. Behind the scenes, I admit I'm slightly entertained. Okay, a lot entertained by Alex's theatrical attempts at willpower. But also, I feel a twinge of sympathy because I've seen this show before. High-intensity motivation with a short shelf life. So this chapter closes with a simple truth. Motivation is sparkly. Identity is steady. We'll make Alex stop trying to light his life on fire with matches. Before we build the systems, I tease Alex with a question. What if you were trying to will yourself into action, but stepping into an identity that just does things? He blinked like I'd offered him a map to a hidden donut shop and a gym at the same time. The seed is planted, and Alex is suspiciously intrigued, which is the emotional cardio we need. I explained to Alex that micro-habits are like sneeze-sized commitments, tiny, unavoidable, and oddly satisfying. He tries to do one push-up and declares it the most profound physical philosophy he's practiced since stand-up occasionally. I let him enjoy this victory because it's crucial. The first win is the door we all need to open. I teach him habit stacking, attach a new tiny behavior to an existing routine, and Alex attaches flossing to making coffee like it's a marriage ceremony. He mumbles, coffee plus floss equals productivity, which is not a chemical formula, but it sounds convincing. He actually does both, and his grin afterward makes me suspect he likes being predictable when it comes with minty freshness. Of course, Alex trips into the classic all-or-nothing trap. If I can't run 10K, why run 1K? Which is dramatically illogical but emotionally persuasive. I gently mock him because that's my role, but I also show a chart that looks like a roller coaster. Consistency wins over intensity. He swallows his pride and accepts the one-lap compromise, which is unglamorous and glorious all at once. I advise him to reward the minuscule, a sticker, a celebratory stretch, or a victory dance that looks suspiciously like a chicken with confidence. Alex chooses the stretch and immediately insists it's more sophisticated than a dance, it's functional art, he claims. I let the debate go because the important part is, the habit stuck, and his inner child is thrilled. Then I show Alex how the environment whispers commands, and sometimes screams at us. Leave your running shoes by the door, and your future self will be too lazy to refuse. He looks at the shoes like they owe him money, but he moves them anyway because I'm persuasive and mildly threatening in my narration. It's amazing how a pair of shoes can carry the weight of a whole intention. I admit to nudging Alex, metaphorically and sometimes literally, to rearrange his life into tiny prompts that do the heavy lifting. He now answers to his own environment, which is quieter and less dramatic than a pep talk, but infinitely more effective. And honestly, I enjoy watching him surrender to smallness. It's the grown-up version of a magic trick. I ask Alex to say aloud, "I am a runner." And he does it in that embarrassed, slightly theatrical tone people reserve for karaoke or family confessions. I coach him. Identity statements stick when you act like the person you're claiming. He takes a breath, says it again with less mockery, and his posture changes a smidge. Trust me, posture is honest. I explain that identity is built through evidence. Showing up once creates one tiny truth that wants company. Alex's logic is adorable. He thinks that if he buys running socks, his identity will be forced into compliance by fabric. Instead, we focus on action. One run, one floss, one page written. So he does them and collects truth like souvenir magnets. We talk about social identity. Who you hang out with gently edits who you become, like autocorrect for personality. Alex joins a small running group and immediately tries to look casual, which is 60% bravado and 40% awkwardness. The group becomes a soft accountability net. Suddenly, his identity has friends, and friends are persuasive. I coach Alex to update the story he tells himself. Swap "I try" for "I'm the kind of person who..." It's subtle, but language is a tiny wand for replumbing beliefs. Alex tries it and says, "I'm the kind of person who writes at night," and not 5 minutes later he's angrily proud of a paragraph. Language did a little gym session and gained confidence. I remind him identity isn't an instant costume, it's a slow wardrobe change. Alex grumbles that he likes costumes, he owns a cape, but he understands it's about tiny, consistent acts that aggregate into belief. He starts collecting behaviors that say, "This is who you are," and, surprise, he enjoys the collection phase like it's personal merch. I admit to teasing Alex about trying on identities like hats, but also I cheer him on because identity is where the real magic hides. When he starts to behave like the person he wants to be, even inconsistently at first, something aligns, and I get legitimately proud, which is saying something for a narrator who lives for sarcasm. This is where motivation quietly becomes habit. I sketch a simple morning system for Alex: cue, routine, reward, rinse and repeat like a dishwasher for life. He initially overcomplicates it, of course he does, with 12 steps that include motivational chanting and a 5-minute interpretive dance. I veto the dance for now and simplify it into doable blocks so the system actually gets used instead of admired in theory. Defaults are the magical autopilot. Set them once and let laziness do your good work for you. I advise Alex to set his phone do not disturb during focus work and schedule recurring workouts so choices become optional. He grumbles about automating spontaneity, but then admits it frees mental space, which is basically him saying, "Okay, fine, I like it." I teach Alex the when-then formula. When X happens, then I will do Y, and he treats it like an incantation. He writes, "When the clock strikes 7, then I will lace up and walk out the door," and suddenly his decisions feel less dramatic and more like following stage directions. It's practical, boring, and therefore effective, the trifecta of lasting change. I show him how tracking can be supportive, not soul-crushing. A simple habit journal. 1 tick per success. No spreadsheets auditioning for a finance job. Alex loves making tally marks like a pirate with a to-do list, and the visual feedback becomes oddly motivating. We're not optimizing for obsession, we're nudging for clarity and momentum. We automate decisions so Alex can save willpower for spicy existential problems, like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. He sets up calendar blocks, recurring grocery orders, and an email filter that auto-archives the drama, which is basically adulting with a cape. The result is delightful: fewer micro-decisions, more consistent behavior, and less internal debate about snacks. As his narrator, I delight in watching systems outmaneuver impulsivity. It's like seeing chess beats chaos. Alex, trying to be clever, keeps renaming systems after fictional heroes, Operation Spartan Toast, and I protest only mildly. Systems are practical, but if naming them makes Alex stick, well, I'm supportive of theatrics that work. I tell Alex goals are nice for charting a destination, but systems are how you actually get there without crying in the passenger seat. He nods, scribbles destination, healthier friend, and then clarifies, healthier by eating a salad like a peace offering. The laugh here is gentle. The real lesson is that goals without systems are aspirational luggage that never gets checked. Rituals are like scaffolding. They hold you up while you build something bigger, and then quietly come down when the structure stands. I help Alex design micro-rituals, a 5-minute wind down before bed, a single-page writing habit, and he calls them tiny ceremonies, which I secretly adore. Rituals make life predictable in the nicest possible way. I prepare Alex for setbacks because optimism without contingency is just dramatic irony. When he misses a run, we don't preach guilt. We analyze what happened, what adjustments, what did we learn. He performs a short morning ritual, a solemn donut, and then gets back to the course, which is both symbolic and nutritional research. We introduce temptation bundling. Pair something you should do with something you love. Alex listens like it's a podcast ad and pairs his favorite podcast with treadmill time, turning into heck yes. There's science and cunning here, and a little moral gray area where bribing yourself is encouraged. I coach him to love the process because outcomes are flaky and slow, while processes are reliable friends. Alex starts journaling about the ritual of running rather than the finish line of a race, which is unexpectedly poetic for someone who once thought deep breathing was optional. The shift is subtle but seismic. He enjoys being in practice more than waiting for applause. I remind Alex and you that long-term systems are messy, imperfect, and gloriously effective if you treat them as experiments. Sometimes the experiment fails, sometimes it delights, and sometimes it quietly becomes ordinary. Ordinary is underrated. It's where identities live. Week 1 of systems is glorious chaos. Alex wakes up on time and goes to bed too early, starts the wrong journal, and sends a half-composed motivational text to his boss. I laugh lovingly because this is exactly how practical change looks. Messy, earnest, and slightly embarrassing. He survives, learns, and tweaks. The system is durable enough to forgive him, which earns it my respect. Adjustments are our dance steps. We try a move. We step on toes. We keep dancing. Alex shifts a running window, swaps an evening habit to morning, and experiments with higher protein breakfast that he judges with a very serious face. The system is flexible. Alex is not always, but together they become compatibly awkward. Life interrupts. His friend invites him to a late dinner, and the system gets flexible in real time. Beautiful human ingenuity. We plan a tiny rule. When out, do one small maintenance action. Walk 10 minutes after dinner, and Alex agrees while eyeing the dessert. This middle path builds resilience. The system bends but doesn't break, and Alex consumes cake with tactical wisdom. Travel is the ultimate systems exam. Alex's routine meets new terrain and tries to negotiate. I show him portable habits, a 10-minute bodyweight routine, and a simple breathing practice, and he becomes a pocket-sized version of his system. He proudly does push-ups in a hotel lobby like a polite, slightly alarmed fitness ambassador, and nobody calls security, so that's a win. We look at his tracking data without moralizing. Numbers are neutral, humans are noisy. Alex sees trends and frowns, then adjusts like a curious scientist, not a disappointed parent. It's pleasing to see him treat data as feedback, not a verdict, which is the emotional difference between shame and learning. One week in, Alex celebrates a tiny streak with a victory dance that is somehow both triumphant and slightly embarrassing, mostly for me as narrator, who blushes on his behalf. We laugh, we mark a calendar, and then we do the hard but quiet work of repeating the system again tomorrow. This is the rhythm of change, small celebrations and steady returns. We review Alex's evidence bank. a notebook of tiny completed actions that together form a legitimate story. He flips through, and I watch his expression move from doubtful to pleasantly surprised, which is proof systems can rewrite doubt. He now has receipts for his identity and, more importantly, stories that back it up. Sustainability comes from not being precious. Adaptable rules beat brittle perfectionism. I coach Alex to refine rather than idealize, tweak start times, swap rewards, change cues when necessary. He practices with curiosity rather than shame, because curiosity lets you iterate without melodrama. I tell Alex to ritualize core behaviors but not idolize outcomes. Rituals make habits lovable, not burdensome. He invents a short pre-run handshake with his reflection, "Yes, really," and it becomes a moment he looks forward to. This little ritual anchors his identity, making him more consistent without needing a pep rally. We encourage Alex to teach someone a tiny habit because teaching crystallizes identity. He explains habit stacking to a friend like a humble missionary for small acts, and the act of sharing cements his own beliefs. There's humor in his earnestness, but also a deep payoff. Identity is reinforced by transmission. In the final reflection, I tell Alex and you that the point isn't a flawless streak, it's becoming the person who solves problems with systems. Alex looks thoughtful, then quips that he'll now accept system designer as his job title on LinkedIn. I laugh, and we both know the real graduation is quiet, competence wearing everyday clothes. I invite you, gently, like a person offering a cup of tea, to try one tiny system today. Maybe it's when I sit down, I write one sentence, or when I get home, I put my shoes by the door. Alex waves a hand and offers you the ceremonial sticker of approval. Accept it, file it in your evidence bank, and let's meet back in a month to trade stories.